Table 1 shows the onset, cessation, and distribution with the following counties: Bungoma, Trans Nzoia, Uasin Gishu, West Pokot, Elgeyo Marakwet, Nandi, Kakamega, Vihiga, Bomet, Kericho, Kisii, Nyamira, Homa Bay, Migori, Kisumu, and Busia, Baringo, Nakuru, Western Laikipia, and Narok. The onset is expected to continue from February. Cessation continues way into June. The rainfall is expected to be, the distribution is expected to be fair to good. Highlands east of the Rift Valley, including Nairobi. Here we have the counties Nyeri, Kirinyaga, Murang'a, Embu, Meru, Kiambu, Nyandarua, Nairobi, and Eastern Laikipia. The onset is expected to be from the 2nd to the 3rd week of March 2026. The cessation dates 3rd to 4th week of May. The distribution is fair to good. Southeastern lowlands, these are Kajiado, Kitui, Makueni, Machakos, Tana River, and Taita Taveta. The onset is expected to be on the 3rd to 4th week of March, while the cessation is expected to be on the 2nd to the 3rd week of May. Unfortunately, here distribution is expected to be poor. In the north coast, here we have Lamu, Malindi, coastal parts of Tana River, and Kilifi. The onset is expected to be from the 2nd to the 3rd week of April. The cessation continues into June. Again, distribution expected to be poor. In the south coast, here we have Mombasa and Kwale. The onset dates are expected to be from 1st to 2nd week of April. The cessation is expected to continue into June. Distribution is expected to be poor. In the northwest, here we have Turkana and Samburu. The onset is expected to be on the 4th week of March 2026 to the 1st week of April. The cessation is expected to be between the 3rd week of May to the 4th week. The distribution, poor. Northeastern area, here we have Wajir, Isiolo, Garissa, Mandera, and Marsabit. The onset is expected to be on the 4th week of March to the 1st week of April. The cessation is expected to be between the 3rd to the 4th week of May. Distribution expected to be poor. I wish to note that updates on the onset, distribution, and cessation of rainfall will be provided regularly through weekly, monthly forecasts as the season approaches. And these updates will offer detailed insights into any changes and developments in rainfall patterns to keep stakeholders informed and support timely decision making. The detailed county forecast will be available from next week, because after this exercise, the counties will embark on a similar one at the counties where they will release the downscale forecast up to the county level, up to the ward level, sorry. The MAM 2026 temperature forecast is as follows. Warmer than average temperatures are expected over the whole country, with increased probabilities over the parts of the Lake Victoria Basin, the coast, southeastern lowlands, and parts of the northeastern Kenya, as shown in figure 3. Potential impacts of the rains March to May 2026 season. I wish to say that the expected rainfall during the season 2026 is expected to have both negative and positive impacts across the sectors. The most likely impacts on various sectors will be highlighted by the sector leads, whom I wish to hand the mic to, beginning with Julius Kombuna, Agriculture. Karibu.
Thank you, Director, for taking us through the forecast as highlighted. Agriculture is the mainstay of our economy. The State Department or the ministry is mandated with food security and production. And therefore, as we've been taken through the forecast, it's coming out clearly that a large part of the country will have depressed rains. And therefore, we will want to know what will happen to the sector as a result of that scenario. The ministry, composed of the crop and the livestock subsector, will be affected as follows. In the crop subsector, we anticipate that we'll have poor germination. In some places, we'll be having crop failure, thus reducing the yields as expected. This will translate into food scarcity and later on escalation of produce, staple food increase in prices, and reducing, also affecting income. Some of those areas will also experience scarcity of water, so that's making it less available for domestic use and irrigation. In the livestock subsector, we are likely to see deterioration of animals, loss of body condition due to lack of pasture or reduced pasture. This, during a time when we have a depressed rain season, we also have proliferation of pests and diseases. Therefore, we also anticipate that there could be spread of diseases. In crops where we have high humidity, we also anticipate that diseases on crops, such as coffee, due to high humidity, especially fungal, will be on the rise. Now, maybe quickly, if I go to the interventions that we'll put in place. One, we will put timely dissemination of advisories that will be released after this exercise. Counties are going to develop localized advisories that will direct the stakeholders or the agro-producers on what they should do to mitigate against the season adversary. We are also going to we'll be promoting climate-smart agriculture practices, mainly technologies such as conservation agriculture, water harvest, efficient irrigation system, and especially those that utilize little water, such as drip irrigation systems. We'll be on the lookout and do surveillance on our grain reserves and trading markets, and monitoring of aflatoxins, in regions where we have enhanced rainfall, and therefore we may have post-harvest losses or destruction of produce in the farm. Putting in place also good agricultural practices. We'll step up our extension staff on the ground. Will be out making timely advices, such as dry planting for the maize. For agro-stockists also, advisories will help them to be able to stock seeds and other necessary inputs at the right time. In the livestock section, programs are being put in place for timely off-take, livestock off-take program. This is disposal of these animals before they lose conditions or die, so that those farmers, those pastoralist farming communities can be compensated and have money which they can use to restock when the season improves or later on in the other season. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Director, for the focus you've just released. Water sector is the mainstay of economy of this country, just as in the agriculture. We are seeing two scenarios here that would have implications on water sector in the country. Within the areas that will be having enhanced rainfall, there are both positive and negative impacts. And also the areas that will receive depressed rainfall during this season, there are also negative impacts. And therefore, in a nutshell, we'll say that the water sector will be impacted positively in that in the areas with above normal rainfall, we'll be having available water resources for different uses. Also, we'll be having increased aquifer recharge, which is very important because at the end of the season, in most parts of the country, we embark on groundwater. Also, we'll be having enhanced water resources, meaning that we'll be having waters in our water pans and other water sources. For the negative impacts, we'll be having water scarcity. Water scarcity is a serious thing because it often leads to water use conflicts between the humans and also humans and animals. We'll also be having a negative impact in that we'll be having depleted groundwater. And also, the other negative impact that we anticipate is floods that would affect different sectors of our economy. And now for the advisories and recommendations in the water sector, we are saying we will be having continuous monitoring of the water resources, the rivers and the groundwater and also the water quality. We will be mapping of the available water sources, which is very important in the areas that will be water scarce. We'll be having enforcement of water allocation plans. And we'll also enhance water use conflict management through communities and the relevant stakeholders. The ministry will also have water tracking to the affected communities. And for the areas with enhanced rainfall where we expect flooding, we are saying that there'll be need to repair the dikes in the flood-prone areas like the Lower Nzoia and Nyando before the onset of the rains. The counties and the relevant agencies should unblock and desilt drainage structures before the onset of the rains. And we are also advocating for the repair and restoration of damaged infrastructure such as roads, bridges, and culverts. So we are also saying we are encouraging the water harvesting during the rains. And also we encourage promotion of efficient water use across households, agriculture, and livestock to reduce water wastage. So this is what we have from the water sector. Thank you.
Good afternoon once again. My name is Diana Masika, representing the State Department for Energy. And given the forecast given for this season, in the western region where we're expecting to have near to above normal rainfall, the impact on the sector is that we expect to have higher inflows to the hydro dams in Takwel, which is in the North Rift, and then Sondu and Gogo, which are in the Nyanza region. The other impact in the western region is that we expect to have flood risk to the dams, and we are also likely to experience sedimentation challenges. In the central and eastern region, where we have the Seven Forks dams, we expect the impact there would be stable inflows into the dams as well, and we expect to have normal generation in that area. For the coastal, eastern, southeastern region, where we're expecting to have below normal rainfall, there we expect to have a limited inflows into the hydro dams, and also with that comes, especially in the northeastern and the coastal regions, the impact there would be that we will have increased cooling demands in households and institutions. The impact on the cooking sector and the households in general is that in the western, central, and the Lake Victoria Basin, where we're expecting to have near normal amounts of rainfall, we expect to have vegetative regeneration to support supply of charcoal and firewood. And then in the north and southern eastern, in the coastal regions, where we're expecting poor rainfall, we expect to see reduced biomass production and also reduced output of, from biogas plants, especially those that rely on animal dung as feedstock. And in the western region, we expect the same plant to perform well, given that we're expecting to have enough animal feed. Now, on the key mitigation measures put in place and the management strategies, in the western region, we expect to optimize hydropower dispatch and to absorb the extra inflows into the dams. We put in place dam safety and flood monitoring protocols, and we also implement sediment management, such as dredging, and this is primarily done by KenGen, which is the institution responsible for power generation. In the eastern central region, the measures there is to ensure there's a balanced hydro and geothermal power dispatch. We continue to monitor reservoir levels for early warning, and we also scale up geothermal, wind, and solar generation to offset any deficits, and we enhance energy efficiency campaigns to ensure that we are utilizing the energy supply we have effectively, and we also secure fuel supply for the thermal power plants, especially in off-grid areas. Thank you.
My name is Pauline Omolo, representing the health sector. Now, on the western region, we are expecting outbreak of waterborne diseases such as cholera, typhoid, bilharzia, outbreak of vector-borne diseases such as malaria, dengue fever, Rift Valley fever, respiratory diseases due to cool and wet conditions, especially in the western region, and malnutrition, increased malnutrition levels in zone 2, that is northeastern region, and also zone 1, that is going to be experiencing above normal to above normal rainfall, and also health system stress, especially in zone 1 and also in zone 2. And then also we are expecting exacerbation of mental health conditions due to, as a result of some of these stressors, and increased mortality rates due to weather stressors such as lightning and strong winds that are also expected in some of the zone 1 and also zone 2 regions. And for some of the positive impacts due to near normal rainfall that is going to be expected. We are also expecting some areas to have increased malnutrition. However, based on the mitigation measures that the advisories and the team came up with, is that we are going to focus on health system preparedness, that is on stockpiling of vaccines, wash and nutrition commodities, vector control commodities and isolation centers, prepositioning of response team to support during this process. And also on the public health advisories, we are looking at measures such as proper waste disposal and management, larva source distribution of nets, malarial drugs, and also testing kits. And we are also looking at strengthening surveillance systems for early outbreak detection, that is setting up screening and community outreach centers, and mobile medical camps, nutrition counseling, and education, vaccination campaigns, and we are looking at surge capacity, whereby we are going to look at different sectors and also actors supporting in this, and also for diagnosis and treatment. And then another element is on psychosocial support programs, whereby we are looking at establishing mental health for general population and also communities at high risk. Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Florida Kagendo from the State Department of Arid and Semi-Arid Lands and Regional Development, representing the Disaster Risk Management and GETSE. So I'll start with the impacts. For the areas that are likely to receive above normal rainfall, we are expecting good soil moisture, which has an impact on the crop and food security and also livestock. Then there's plenty of pastures and fodder. There'll be recharge of underground water sources. So there'll be a lot of rivers, a lot of streams that are working. Then there's adequate surface water availability. Then there's improved food security. Those are the positive impacts. But high rainfall also has negative impacts, among them flooding, infrastructural damage of roads, dams, ICT equipment and structures, and the power lines. Then we are likely to also experience landslides or mudslides in places with high rainfall. Then diseases both caused by vector and waterborne diseases, which are likely to affect human beings and also livestock. Then there's erosion of coral reefs, which has an impact on the marine sector. So for the areas above normal rainfall, those are both the positive and the negative impacts. For those areas that are likely to receive below normal rainfall, which are mainly in the ASAL areas, most of our country, over 80% of our country is ASALs. So those areas are likely to experience drought, resource-based conflicts over water, over pasture, then human-wildlife conflict, animals or livestock or wildlife coming to look for food on the side that human beings are living. Then gender-based violence or early marriages, because when there's drought, there's a lot of desperation and depression, and you realize some of the girls or women, young women, drop out of school to get married. Then there's also a possibility of increased insecurity and crime rates. That's where we see, like, in the ASAL areas, especially in those counties bordering the border, there's a lot of crime rate. That is where people do terrorism, drug trafficking, human trafficking, and so many other crimes. Yeah, so those are both the positive impacts and the negative impacts of above and below normal. So what would we advise, considering the negative, the impacts that have been given? For the human-wildlife conflicts, would advise, for human-wildlife conflicts, migration and loss of livelihoods, would advise wild animal tracking, sensitization of local communities, having water points for the animals, both livestock and wildlife, then community group mediation efforts. Yeah, so for the other impact on gender-based violence, early marriages, insecurity, increased crime rate, and mental health issues, would advise, or would, advise, yes, reporting, having hotlines for reporting, having suggestion boxes, having safe water points where people can be able to fetch water safely, especially for the women and the girls, and also sensitization and, sensitization of the community. For the flood impact, would advise early warning, then relocation to safer grounds, clearing or unclogging of the drainage systems, and the strengthening of dikes. For the drought, would advise early warning initiatives, also consider early livestock offtake, livestock insurance for the communities, then water harvesting, rangeland restoration, planting of drought-tolerant crops, and also irrigation, supplemental irrigation. For the infrastructure damage, would advise rehabilitation of damaged infrastructure. That is the culverts, the drainages, the bridges, any infrastructure. Opening of drainages. Develop climate-proofed infrastructure, such as bridges that can be able to withstand the heavy rains. Or maybe in case there's a flash flood, when we have strong bridges, they're able to withstand the flash floods without collapsing. Then we can also adhere to building codes in order to improve resilience of those infrastructure. Then lastly, for land degradation, would advise on soil conservation measures and land restoration and rehabilitation using maybe grasses, trees, suitable trees, not just any tree. Because if you plant like eucalyptus, it will not be helping. But if you plant trees like fruit trees, if we like restore rangelands, maybe using sisal, or maybe other crops that can easily, or trees that can easily do well in the ASAL areas, we'll be able to restore that rangeland, we'll be able to provide food and fodder for the livestock, like planting also Kaliandra and Leukina for the livestock. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Let's appreciate the panelists. The focus that we have released and the advisories underscore the objective of this Ncof, and this is to move from crisis response to climate preparedness. We would wish our country and our communities to be climate prepared. Please note that this outlook should be used together with the 24-hour, 5-hour, 7-day, monthly, and special forecasts, and regular updates and advisories issued by this department, as well as the weekly and monthly county forecast developed and availed by the county meteorological offices. Asanteni, na tunapotamatisha kikao hiki, ninaomba nimkaribishe mwenzangu Christine Maswi, ambaye atatusomea utabiri huu kwa muktasari katika lugha ya taifa kwa ajili ya wale wasikilizaji ama watazamaji wetu ambaye labda hawaelewi lugha ya Kiingereza. Anafanya hivi kwa niaba yangu sababu Kiswahili changu hakijanyooka kama chake. Asante.
Itifaki zote zikizingatiwa, hamjambo. Tuangalie taarifa ya mtazamo wa utabiri wa hali ya hewa msimu huu wa masika wa mwezi wa Machi mpaka Mei 2026. Kipindi cha mvua ya Machi Mei ni kipindi cha mvua za masika katika sehemu nyingi nchini. Kiwango cha juu cha mvua, yaani zaidi ya milimita 300, hunakiliwa maeneo ya Ziwa Victoria, nyanda za juu za magharibi, katikati na kusini mwa bonde la Ufa. Vile vile, mashariki mwa bonde la Ufa ikiwemo Nairobi na mwambao wa pwani. Mtazamo wa hali ya hewa kwa msimu wa mvua za masika, yaani mwezi wa 3 mpaka wa 5, 2026, unaonyesha kuwa mvua ya wastani hadi juu ya wastani inatarajiwa katika maeneo yafuatayo: bonde la Ziwa Victoria, nyanda za juu magharibi mwa bonde la Ufa, nyanda za juu mashariki mwa bonde la Ufa ikiwemo Nairobi, pamoja na kaskazini magharibi mwa Kenya. Aidha, mvua ya wastani hadi chini ya wastani inatarajiwa katika nyanda za chini za kusini mashariki, kaskazini mashariki na baadhi ya sehemu za kaskazini magharibi mwa Kenya. Vile vile, mvua iliyo chini ya kiwango cha wastani inatarajiwa katika maeneo ya pwani. Mgao wa mvua hizi katika maeneo mengi nchini unatarajiwa kuwa wa kiwango cha duni hadi cha wastani. Mwanzo wake unakadiriwa kuwa wa wastani hadi wa kuchelewa katika baadhi ya maeneo. Mvua hizi zinatarajiwa kukumbwa na vipindi vya ukame na maeneo mengine kupata dhoruba za mara kwa mara. Kilele chake katika maeneo mengi nchini kinatarajiwa kuja katika mwezi wa 4, ili hali mwambao wa pwani kilele chake kinatarajiwa kuja mwezi wa 5. Hali ya joto nchini inatarajiwa kuwa juu ya wastani katika eneo kubwa la nchi, ikiwa zaidi katika sehemu za bonde la Ziwa Victoria, maeneo ya pwani, nyanda za chini za kusini mashariki, pamoja na sehemu za kaskazini mashariki mwa nchi. Tukiangalia kwa kina utabiri katika maeneo mbalimbali nchini. Nchi yetu tumegawa katika maeneo tofauti tofauti ambayo viwango vyake vya mvua vinakaribiana. Tukitazama katika nyanda za juu magharibi ya bonde la Ufa, likiwemo Ziwa Victoria na maeneo ya katikati, yaani kaunti za Elgeyo Marakwet, Nandi, Kakamega, Bungoma, Trans Nzoia, Uasin Gishu, magharibi Mapokot, Vihiga, Bomet, Kericho, Kisii, Nyamira, Homa Bay, Migori, Siaya, Kisumu, Busia, Baringo, Nakuru na baadhi ya maeneo ya magharibi mwa Laikipia. Maeneo haya yanastahili kupata mvua ya wastani hadi ya juu ya wastani, na mwanzo wake mvua hizi zinatarajiwa kuendelea kuanzia mwezi wa 2 na kikomo chake kitaendelea mpaka mwezi wa 6. Na mgao wake unatazamiwa kuwa wa kuridhisha mpaka mzuri. Kaunti zilizo nyanda za juu za mashariki mwa bonde la Ufa ikiwemo Nairobi, hizi ni kaunti kama vile Nyeri, Kirinyaga, Murang'a, Embu, Meru, Kiambu, Nyandarua, Nairobi na maeneo ya mashariki mwa Laikipia. Mtazamo wa mvua za maeneo haya unatarajiwa kuwa wa wastani hadi juu ya wastani. Ili tunaliangalia kwa vile vitengo ambavyo tumeweka kwa lugha ya Kimombo: above normal, normal, below normal. Maeneo haya mwanzo wa mvua unatarajiwa kuwa katika wiki ya 2 hadi ya 3 ya mwezi wa 3. Na kikomo chake kinatazamiwa kuja katikati ya wiki ya 3 mpaka wiki ya 4 ya mwezi wa 5. Na mgao wake unatazamiwa kuwa wa wastani hadi wa kuridhisha. Kaunti za nyanda za chini za kusini mashariki, yaani kaunti hizi ni kama zifuatavyo: Kajiado, Kitui, Makueni, Machakos, maeneo ya ndani ya Tana River na Taita Taveta. Kiwango cha mvua kinatazamiwa kuwa cha chini ya wastani. Na mwanzo wake mvua zinafaa kuanza katika wiki ya 3 hadi ya 4 ya mwezi wa 3. Na kikomo chake kinatarajiwa kuwa katikati ya wiki ya 2 na ya 3 ya mwezi wa 5. Ila mgao wake unatazamiwa kuwa wa duni. Maeneo ya kaskazini mwa pwani, yaani zile kaunti ambazo tumeziangalia hapa ni Lamu, Malindi, mwambao wa pwani ya Tana River, the coastal part of Tana River na Kilifi. Kiwango cha mvua katika maeneo hayo kinatarajiwa kuwa chini ya wastani, na mwanzo wake unakadiriwa kuwa kati ya wiki ya 2 na ya 3 ya mwezi wa 4. Ila kwa mtazamo wa kikomo cha mvua inaonelewa kuwa mvua hizi zitaendelea mpaka mwezi wa Juni. Tulipoona hapa mwanzo, kilele cha mvua cha maeneo ya pwani kinakuja mwezi wa 5. Kwa hivyo mvua hizi za maeneo ya pwani zinatarajiwa kuendelea mpaka mwezi wa 6, ila mgao wake utakuwa wa duni. Maeneo ya kusini mwa pwani, hizi ni kaunti za Mombasa na Kwale. Kiwango cha mvua kinatarajiwa kuwa chini ya wastani, na mwanzo wake ni wiki ya kwanza ya mwezi wa 4 hadi ya 2. Na inatazamiwa kuwa kikomo chake kutakuja huenda mwezi wa 6, ila mgao wake ni wa duni. Maeneo ya kaskazini magharibi mwa Kenya, hizi ni kaunti za Turkana na Samburu. Mvua za wastani hadi juu ya wastani zinatarajiwa maeneo haya. Na mwanzo wake ni kutoka juma la 4 la Machi hadi juma la 1 la mwezi wa 4. Kikomo kinatarajiwa kuja katikati ya wiki ya 3 na ya 4 ya mwezi wa 5, ila mgao wake ni duni. Kaskazini mashariki, hizi ni kaunti za Wajir, Isiolo, Garissa, Mandera na Marsabit. Mgao wa mvua utakuwa wa wastani mpaka chini ya wastani. Na mwanzo wake unatarajiwa kuwa katikati ya juma la 4 la mwezi wa 3 hadi juma la 1 la mwezi wa 4. Kikomo chake kinatazamiwa kuwa katikati ya wiki ya 3 hadi wiki ya 4 ya mwezi wa 5, ila mgao wake utakuwa duni. Kwa ufupi, hiyo ni taarifa ambayo tumeitoa kwa lugha ya Kiswahili. Haina utofauti na ile ambaye mkurugenzi wetu wa idara ya hali ya hewa ameisoma. Ni kwa vile tu hii ni kwa lugha ya Kiswahili. Tunakumbushwa kwamba kuna vichocheshi ambavyo vinatokea katikati ya msimu ambavyo haviwezi vikajitokezea muda ule tunatengeneza huu utabiri wa mvua za masika. Huwa zinajitokezea katikati ya msimu. Kwa hivyo tunaombwa kufuatilia kwa ukaribu sana utabiri wa hali ya anga kutoka idara ya utabiri wa hali ya hewa wa siku, juma na mwezi pia. Na pia jumbe fupi boresha, ripoti za ushauri wa jumbe za athari pamoja na tabiri za wiki na mwezi na vile vile katika kaunti zetu, kila kaunti huwa wanatoa ripoti yao ya wiki na ya mwezi, na tabiri hizi zinaweza kupatikana katika ofisi za wakuu wa utabiri wa hali ya anga kwa kila kaunti. Msimu huu pia una madhara yaliyo mema na mabaya kwetu pia. Kila sekta husika, kama ilivyokuwa katika lugha ya Kimombo, imetoa hatari zake. Kwa hivyo ni wajibu wetu sisi sote kutilia maanani na kuyatenda yale idara ya hali ya anga inatuhimiza kuyatenda, na kwa ukaribu sana kufuatilia taarifa zetu.